In modern dating and relationships, the term high-value man has gained popularity, often associated with men who are confident, self-assured, and emotionally intelligent. These men navigate the often tricky terrain of interpersonal dynamics with clarity and strength. One area where this shows most clearly is how they respond to what are often referred to as women's games, behaviors some women may use intentionally or unintentionally to test, manipulate, or gauge a man's value. Rather than engaging in a battle of manipulation, high-value men take a fundamentally different approach. Their methods are grounded in self-respect, maturity, and strategic emotional intelligence. Let's break down how they do it. 1. Understanding the nature of the game. High-value men don't demonize or resent women for playing games. Instead, they recognize that some behaviors, like testing boundaries, pushing for attention, or challenging confidence, often stem from insecurity, curiosity, or a search for emotional safety. Rather than reacting with frustration, they approach these games with a psychological lens. For instance, when a woman becomes distant or flaky to gauge how much a man values her, a high-value man doesn't chase or panic. He sees this as a form of testing and chooses to maintain his emotional equilibrium. His core strength lies in understanding that emotional games often aren't about him personally, but about the woman's internal dynamics. 2. Emotional detachment from the outcome. One powerful psychological advantage that high-value men have is their ability to stay emotionally detached from outcomes. Now, this doesn't mean they don't care, it just means they absolutely refuse to become needy or desperate. Their self-worth, honestly, isn't dependent on any kind of external validation. When faced with tactics like the so-called silent treatment or those jealousy tests, a high-value man doesn't lose his composure. He knows deep down that reacting emotionally or overcompensating only gives away his power. Instead, he stays centered, calm, and is totally willing to walk away if his boundaries are disrespected. That kind of quiet self-confidence really makes the game ineffective. 3. Setting and enforcing boundaries calmly. Boundaries are, crucial in any healthy interaction. High-value men understand that putting up with manipulative behavior just because they're afraid of losing a relationship only leads to long-term resentment. So, when they're faced with disrespect, passive aggression, or those attention-seeking games, they respond by setting clear, non-negotiable boundaries, not with anger, but with certainty. For example, if a woman constantly cancels plans at the last minute, instead of reacting with accusations, he might say, "I value my time and I expect people in my life to do the same. If this continues, I'll need to step back." No pleading, no drama, just firm standards. 4. Maintaining abundance mentality. One reason women's games often work is because, honestly, many men operate from scarcity. The belief that if they lose this one woman, they'll never find another. High-value men adopt an abundance mindset. They believe that they have options and that they bring enough to the table to attract high-quality partners. This mentality frees them from being manipulated. If someone plays games that disrupt their peace or distract them from their goals, they are willing to disengage, knowing they'll meet someone more aligned with their values. This detachment increases their value even more. 5. Being direct and unapologetically honest. Instead of playing games in response, high-value men actually lean into clarity. They communicate directly, whether it's about their intentions, their level of interest, or even how they feel about a woman's behavior. This kind of honesty honestly just disarms manipulative tactics. When a woman plays hard to get just to provoke interest, a high-value man might respond with calm indifference, saying something like, "If you're genuinely interested, let's spend time together. If not, that's fine too." This kind of clear-cut communication, well, it really cuts through any ambiguity and forces either sincerity or disconnection, both of which are totally acceptable outcomes to him. 6. Being purpose-driven, not emotion-driven. High-value men are, on a mission. Whether it's building a business, developing a skill, or just improving themselves, they've got these long-term goals that really occupy their focus. Women's games? Well, they only distract them if they allow it, and honestly, they rarely do. This purpose-centered mindset, it gives them an edge. When someone tries to trigger jealousy, create drama, or test their commitment, he just doesn't get sidetracked. His emotional stability and clarity come from knowing exactly who he is and what he's working toward, and that makes him nearly immune to manipulation. 7. Choosing women who don't play games. That's really the ultimate way high-value men outsmart women's games. They select women who don't rely on them. Over time, these men refine their standards. They seek out women who are secure, emotionally mature, and capable of authentic connection. If a woman resorts to constant tests or emotional manipulation, he simply moves on, not to punish her but because he knows it just won't be a sustainable dynamic. By aligning only with women who match their emotional depth and maturity, high-value men avoid the game altogether. High-value men don't win by playing women's games better. They win by refusing to play them at all. Their strength lies in emotional intelligence, boundary setting, confidence, and purpose. They recognize the deeper reasons behind the behavior and respond with calm detachment, not emotional chaos. In the end, their refusal to engage in manipulation transforms the dynamic. It either inspires a woman to meet them at their level, or filters out those who can't. Either way, they maintain their dignity, self-respect, and peace of mind, the true signs of high value.